Welcome to Flash from Scratch, Tutorial 6, the Deco tool. I have the CS5 program open. I'm going to open a new FLA, keeping the default settings. Right here under the pencil tool is a pencil with little dots. It's called the Deco tool. Click it. When you do, now you get this little, looks like a paint bucket with little dots. Come over to the Properties panel, and you have all kinds of things we can do with this little tool. Let's just first of all just click it here on the stage, and it will cover your stage with that, what's called a fine fill. Them like vines, like on a tree. I'm just going to use my Control Z to get rid of that. If you took, for example, your pencil tool and made a loop, closed loop, and then picked up that Deco tool with the vine fill and click it, it'll stay inside of that perimeter that you made. Okay, on Control Z and get rid of that stuff. Well, I'm just going to use my selection tool, highlight it and delete it. So we have the vine fill. There's another fill. It's called the grid. And this one here, if I click it, you can see that it's a grid and they're horizontal to each other. If on the other hand I go to down here, advanced options, title patterns, this is called the title pattern. There's also a brick pattern, so if I selected that and the tool puts them on an angle to each other, and notice that they go right and fill the complete stage. Notice that. Let's put the stage on fits window. Okay, let's remove that one. Let's go look at that other one for a minute. It was called the floor pattern. If I click that, that's sort of on an angle. See them in strips like that, and again it stays inside the frame. You can paint over the edges or paint at random. So we'll just do paint over the edges for a minute, and you see it just goes over your edges. Pick up the pencil tool, pick up a bright color, not crazy color there. Just draw something. There we go. Pick up the fill bucket. You don't need to do this, but I'm just showing you something. While it's highlighted, I'm going to modify it. I'm going to convert it to a symbol. I'm going to make it called something called a movie clip. Don't worry about this. I just did that so that I have it in my library. And we've already used the library. So if I look into my library, there it is. So when you select that Deco tool and you go to this grid fill, you can come here and click this and pick up something from the library. In this case, I'm going to pick that up. So now when I fill it with those dots and that extra shape. So you can make some really funny things here. Okay, back to the Deco tool. I'm going to show you all of them. Symmetry brush, 3D brush. Building brush, that's an interesting one. You have these different size buildings. Skyscrapers number 2. You can give them different sizes, and you make a little skyscraper. Another one. Another one. Let's try a different one here. Let's try skyscraper 1. Okay. Buildings random. Now the problem with this is getting used to using them. Okay, so you can make yourself a little city using these buildings. Pick up my selection tool, highlight all that. I'm just deleting it with my delete button. Back to my Deco tool. Decorative brush. Fire animation, that's a little interesting one. You make a little fire. And what's interesting about this is you're actually making an animation. If you look up here, it's filling these frames in for you. So if you do what's called test it, control, test the movie, test, and you play back, you got this fire burning. You can put more than one on the stage. You can put 1, 2, but when you do, it just adds it on after right now. So now if I did control, test, and test, you'll see the first one, and then the second one's over here. Okay, that's the fire tool. Okay. Don't worry about that. That one, what else I want to show you on this one? Oh, the flower brush. This is a good one. Makes flowers. Look at that. Look at this. It just makes flowers at random. Yeah. And you can do different types of flowers. Roses. That's what these ones were, I imagine. Poinsettias, Christmas time, if you want to make some poinsettias. Look pretty much the same to me, but there is some difference in them. And I'm going to delete those. Let's go back to that. Brush options. Lightning brush. This one's I find a little bit difficult to use, but if you click on it, oh, I'm doing white on white, so you can't see it. So pick up a color. Let's make it black lightning. There. That's pretty nice. Let's go back. Let's pick up the selection tool. Right click here. Just click on it with a regular click, left click. And if I click on this and this opens up, come down here to where you see stage. Now this is that properties panel here, right? Stage, click on that, make the stage black for now, and there's the lightning. If I go back and pick that lightning tool up again, there it is. Make my lightning white now, and there's lightning. So you don't have to draw lightning again. Okay. I'm just going to do a bunch of whole Control Z to get me back to where I was. With lightning brush, there's a few more I want to show you. The tree brush is the last one I want to show you, I think. And we got these different trees. Maple tree. I like the maple tree. You start up, and there's a tree, and you can make branches off it. You want to be getting some practice before you actually use this, because it does make a lot of leaves. If you just hold it and just move it a little bit, you seem to get more leaves. If you move it a lot, you get a lot of greenery. But there it would take you days and days and days to try to draw that particular tree. An orange tree. This one probably has fruit on it, I think. There it goes. Well, I'm just holding it there. You can see little oranges. Right, is there anything else I wanted to do here? The symmetry brush. Oh yes, I want to do that one. So I'm just going to select all, but delete everything. I want to do that symmetry brush if I can get it to work for myself. Select the symmetry brush and just want to make a dot of circles, make another dot of circles, make another dot of circles. And if you grab this thing here and turn it, you can turn them anywhere you want. But this one's interesting. If you turn this, you can get a whole bunch of them. You can make a whole complete set of circles. And that's really interesting. So I'll come back out here, make some more dots, more dots, more dots. Again, this turns the whole thing, and this tells me how I'm grouping them together. And I can make a complete ring there. Look at that. That's called a roundabout. I can think of ideas for that one. Okay, I hope you learned something from this short tutorial, and I hope you use what you learned.